Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, TC Gita passes over the Lao group. Fijians told to cease sea travel. And cleanup and recovery begins in Tonga.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Severe tropical cyclone Gita, which is still a Category 4 system, passed over Onoi, Lao at around 1:30 p.m. today at a speed of 25 kilometers an hour. TC Gita also did not make landfall on Onoi, Lao, however passed approximately 50 kilometers south of the island. Around 2 a.m. tomorrow, it will be located about 240 kilometers west-southwest of Onoi, Lao and 250 kilometers southeast of Kandavu. A hurricane warning remains in force for Onoi, Lao and Vatoa. A storm warning remains in force for the rest of the southern Lao group. A gale warning remains in force for Matuku, Totoya, Moala, Kandavu and nearby smaller islands like Kemba and Nayao. A strong wind warning remains in force for the rest of Fiji. Fiji Meteorology Director Ravin Kumar says the system may weaken by tomorrow.
Moment it is moving into an environmental conditions where it is going to encounter shear, which means to say that it may maintain Category 4 system for quite a bit, next 24 to 48 hours, before it may start to gradually weaken.
And we now join our reporter Felipe Naikaso in Nandi. Felipe, does Tropical Cyclone Gita still pose a threat to Fiji?
Yes, Jackie, and as you've mentioned, TC Gita has just passed over Onoi, Lao earlier today around 1:30 p.m. and all indications is that severe tropical cyclone Gita is expected to clear out of Fiji waters by the weekend. I also have with me here the Fiji Nandi Weather Office Director, Mr. Ravin Kumar, who will tell us a little bit more about the path that TC Gita is expected to take over the coming days. Mr. Kumar, the question now is from people is what can we expect now till the weekend as TC Gita is slowly moving away from the Fiji group?
Thank you, Felipe. We are not out of the danger yet. We still expect hurricane force to gale force winds coming over most parts of the country, especially for the southern parts of the country with storm force winds yet to come. As we go into future, TC Gita is going to move more westwards and more of these gale force winds as well as strong winds will come over the rest of the islands. Rain is going to be becoming heavy and more frequent, as well as people need to take the heed from the weather office, which is providing alerts and warnings are still in force.
So the Nandi Weather Office is still telling people to heeding the warnings, eh?
That's right. The warnings that are still out, all need to take that warnings very seriously whenever they are issued, given that the hurricane force and the storm force winds are still going to be coming for most parts of the country.
Mr. Kumar, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much for that, Felipe. The Fiji Navy will remain on standby for the next 24 hours despite Cyclone Gita, still over southern Fiji waters, is now moving away from the country. Navy Commander Humphrey Tawake says they're closely monitoring the cyclone as well and will provide assistance if the need arises. Savaira Tambor reports.
Commander Navy was briefed at around midday today on the operation conducted by naval officers, also on the information received from the outer islands. Commander Tawake has confirmed they contacted most of the vessels in outer seas and gave them ample advice on the location of the cyclone.
Fortunate that as well that we contacted most of the fishing vessel companies and most of the vessels, and most of them have moved north, as you saw in the screen in the vessel monitoring system that we have. So that is a proactive start that we've taken. as well as being on standby if there are any decisions that will be required.
According to Command, the Navy reports of storm surges were received from Onilau this morning, but people were advised to take precautionary measures despite of its current path.
History tells us that all those that have lost their lives during cyclones or disasters such have died most of them have died during the dark hours of the cyclone, because you cannot see anything, the debris flying all around, there's roofing iron flying out that is like flying missiles and can kill anyone and people can get it. So that's why we've taken the initiative yesterday to advise islanders in Watoa and in Onilau and in the southern Lao to take extra precaution.
The Navy will be on a standby for at least the next 24 hours. They are working in conjunction with the Natural Disaster Management Office in reporting the progress of the cyclone. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
All ships and vessels have been directed to cease all travel in and out of the Central and Eastern Division. The directive from the Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji comes as strong winds and rough seas are predicted overnight for the Fiji waters. Eleanor Tarangaivu filed this report earlier today.
A marine notice was issued this afternoon by the Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji for all ships in the Central and Eastern Division to cease operation with immediate effect. An exception is given for emergency evacuation runs only. The notice also advises owners of large ships to ensure their vessels are secure and kept safe during the passing of Tropical Cyclone Gita. MSF, along with the Fiji Meteorological Office in Nadi, are urging small boat owners to take the necessary precautionary measures to guarantee their vessels are safe.
The warnings are out, and the mariners should take alerts, warnings and advice very seriously. And that's something that we said it yesterday, to change the plans if they want to.
In the Northern Division, the main inter-island ferries have cancelled all trips until further notice. One ferry belonging to Patterson Brothers Shipping had to return to Natovi this morning with all its passengers after it failed to berth at Nambowalu due to the rough seas. Here in Taviuni, the waves have been choppy since the morning, and it's been unusually very windy here as well. The current weather situation is expected to intensify as Tropical Cyclone Gita makes her way across the Fiji waters tonight. Eleanor Turangibiu, FBC News.
The cleanup operation is underway in Tonga following the devastation caused by Cyclone Gita overnight. It was possibly the worst cyclone ever recorded in the kingdom, and there is widespread flooding and destruction which have left many homes without power. Water, shelter and food are the immediate needs for Tongans as the kingdom was battered by Category 4 Cyclone Gita last night. Local and international NGOs are working with the National Emergency Management Office to gauge the extent of the damage on the main island of Tongatapu. Pranita Prakash has more.
Cyclone Gita brought winds of over 233 km per hour which ripped roofs of houses, brought down trees and completely damaged Tonga's Parliament House.
Red Cross at the moment, they are currently doing the assessment, and hopefully by the next few hours we will have a better picture of what the Red Cross will be distributing. But of course, the Category 4 damaged a lot of trees, and some of the houses torn, and some of the new ones, roof a little bit blown up. But we hope that we can respond today also.
Tongan Member of Parliament Lord Fusitua says this was the worst cyclone in Tonga in 60 years.
There's trees falling everywhere, debris. There have been instances of vehicles blown on top of houses. I've seen images of 40-foot shipping containers that have blown and been deposited on top of buildings. So the damage is fairly extensive and significant, and it will be a great challenge to rebuild.
A school teacher who has been living in Tonga for 5 years is counting herself lucky. However, Virginie Dolet, who takes French classes, says a number of people have lost everything.
So it's really bad here, but it's worse other places. Now my neighbors, the worst that's happened to us in the neighborhood is losing a piece of roof for two of my neighbors. So my house was actually extremely safe. That's why I could easily be live tweeting during the night, although obviously it was not a pleasant night at all.
There has been at least one confirmed death. The victim was trapped inside her house. Meanwhile, the New Zealand government has announced an initial funding of over $1 million for recovery. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Meanwhile, many people in Tonga captured dramatic pictures as the cyclone smashed into the island nation. They were the first images to show the outside world the storm's ferocity. This report again from TVNZ. Still to come, Tiko Tiko yet to comment on allegations. And Fiji Link staff contain onboard fire. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Usi kami na sombo tikola, ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tali, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali tajiri ang gitu Venezuela, nagundo rongo. Varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
The UN Commissioner for Human Rights, Zaid Raed Al Hussein, has called for common sense to prevail after the detention of two directors and their staff writer from Islands Business magazine. Both were arrested over the weekend in relation to an article later proven false. The Commissioner spent 3 days in Fiji on an official visit, meeting with government, opposition and other stakeholders. Maggie Boyle reports.
Weather patterns. The UN Human Rights Commissioner concluded his visit to Fiji, highlighting numerous areas of concern. One was recent events involving the media.
This is highly worrying and reportedly has the effect of inhibiting investigative journalism and coverage of issues that are deemed sensitive, as well as discouraging a plurality of views.
Al-Hussein noted that legislation can be used to curb the freedom of expression, which becomes commonplace with heightened tensions in the lead-up to elections.
Overly broad laws can be and have been used to prosecute journalists whose work is deemed to be against the public interest or public order, with violations punishable by fines up to 1,000 Fijian dollars, 530 US dollars, or imprisonment of up to 2 years under the Media Industry Development Act of 2015.
MIDA Chair Ashwin Raj says it's imperative that responsibility is seen to be practiced.
We must endeavour to have a robust freedom of expression landscape in Fiji. And for this to happen, I think it's critical that everyone understands that in performing their respective duties, whether you be a journalist or whether you're the police, of upholding institutions and individuals to account, you must exercise responsibility.
The UN Human Rights Commission is expected to release a detailed report on Fiji in the coming months. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Attempts to get comments today from National Federation Party provisional candidate Romanu Tiko about an allegation that he raped his housemate in Port Moresby while serving as Fiji's ambassador to Papua New Guinea in 2014 have been unsuccessful. FBC News visited Tiko home in Nasinu. However, we were told by family members that he was not available to comment as he had just returned from Lovoni Overlau and needed rest. Meanwhile, former NFP President Tupon Ranidalo has refused to comment on the issue but asked that these serious accusations be handled by the proper authorities. A fire broke out on a Fiji Link aircraft shortly after takeoff this morning. Executive General Manager Shanaz Voss says flight FJ7 bound for Suva from Nandi developed a problem in its right engine. The pilots quickly activated the built-in fire extinguishing system to bring the situation under control. Following protocol, they shut the engine down and returned the ATR 72-600 aircraft safely to Nandi without further incident. Voss says initially an emergency was declared, but it was cancelled once the problem with the engine was contained. Fiji Airways and the CAF are investigating the incident. The application by trustees of the Air Terminal Services Employees Trust lodged against the Civil Aviation Authority, Air Terminal Services Limited, the ATS Company Secretary and the Attorney General on behalf of the Permanent Secretary for Economy has been dismissed by the Lautoka High Court. The High Court ruled that ATSET's application was both bad in law and weak on evidence. In regard to the ATSET trustees' claim against the reassignment of 51% of ATS shares to the government in 2009, the court noted that ATSET was aware of the reassignment and did not object. The claim against the removal of J.D. Singh, Manasa Ratuvili and Kevueli Tunindao from the ATS board, the court said it was in accordance with the ATS Articles of Association. And further, that no issue had been raised by ATSET in 2011 when Rajeshwar Singh was removed as an ATSET director. ATSET has been ordered to pay $4,000 in costs to CAF, the Attorney General, ATS and the ATS Company Secretary. Ahead in sports, bowlers prepare for Commonwealth Games, but we now join Rachel for the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Housing Authority to develop over 1,500 residential lots. And in growing Fiji, better road access for Lajonia residents in Lambasa. Stay with us.
Moala ranalika o tikongona taon singa toka ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere.
Ya dora subuli kurna bili. Borani batukara hambara binanga. Do talitaki na wakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na sere.
In business tonight, the Housing Authority is undertaking a number of development projects on Viti level to provide affordable, decent and quality housing to all Fijians. Chair Umar G. Musa says over 1,500 lots will be available for purchase in the next 12 to 18 months.
The major lot subdivision to provide affordable housing will be carried out between Nasinu and Osori, one of the most densely populated areas of Fiji.
Nepani with 175 lots, Davailevu with 730 lots, Tavakumbu with 530 lots, and Kuruni Salu in Tawa with 119 lots. Apart from this, Matavoli project, which has 400 lots, has been completed.
620 proposed lots have been planned for Vaikombo in Nasinu, but this is subjected to road developments.
As starter title project goes, the authority is seriously looking at 176 units at its Wainibuku subdivision, and currently it is in the feasibility stage.
Enterprise Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum says Fijians need to change their mindset on home ownership.
We have a culture in Fiji where generally we think that only older people can buy their first home. We don't have this culture when somebody is 22, 23 years old that we actually encourage them to buy the first home. In fact, people don't even think about it. We must change that way of thinking.
Meanwhile, the Housing Authority's strata title project of 170 units at the Waimbuku subdivision in Nakasi is in its feasible stage. Loata Wangani Vavalangi, FBC News.
And we now join Sean from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
Thank you. Let's have a look at the markets today. The US dollar lost ground as global stock markets showed signs of stabilizing as all three major indexes advanced yesterday. Treasury yields in the meantime closed with gains. The 10-year note settled at 2.86%, while the 30-year note yield ended unchanged at 3.14%. The focus now remains on the US inflation numbers due on Thursday. Meanwhile, a little closer to home, business in Australia reached near boom levels in January as sales and profits increased sharply, strengthening the economy. The next event we are waiting for is the January inflation numbers from the United Kingdom. Their inflation last month slowed from 3.1% to 3%, and another drop to 2.9% is expected. And that's all from me. Stay safe.
Thanks, Sharon. Looking at today's current exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar, with the stock markets somewhat settling, the Fiji dollar rose against the Chinese yuan, the US dollar, the Kiwi dollar, the Kina and the Japanese yen. As for the commodities market, oil prices were slightly down at $59.42 a barrel. Gold closed at $1,222 an ounce, and silver was higher at $16.56 an ounce. And in Fiji tonight, over 2,000 residents and sugarcane farmers living along the Lajonia Road in Lambasa now have better access to roads. The Fulton Hogan Highways has almost completed the upgrading of the road. The company says the residents are already reporting an improvement in their access to the market. The Lambasa depot manager says the crew is removing overgrown vegetation and clearing drainage as part of the upgrade. The road serves the Rara housing residents, including farmers and those living in Lambasa and Natua. And that's it from business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports tonight, Bar's winless run continues in the OFC Champions League. And Rugby League club aim to impress at Nasinu Sevens. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारियल रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टकता हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
The Bar football side is all but bundled out of the OFC Champions League after losing its second consecutive match. The side went down to Lae City Dwellers 1-0 this afternoon.
Well, Josiah Ratu is down, not for the first time in this game. I think this is the second or third time we've had a stop and play so the men in black keeper can receive some type of treatment. Now he's got a bandage on his right knee that came courtesy of a knock he picked up in the first half, but that's a decent ball in a good position. The shot on goal, and it's in the back of the net. Lae City finally break through Emmanuel Simon.
We learn a lot out of it. We lost 2 games. We learn a lot, and we're gonna go back home. We don't leave here things. We're gonna go back home. We work on it. Next Champions League, we're gonna come back again and we're gonna fight for it again. We came for to finish the Champions League, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna go for. Doesn't matter we out, so we do give the easy game. So we're gonna go for hard. So we're gonna prove that we are still in the competition.
Based club AS Dragon got its OFC Champions League campaign off to a great start with a 4-0 win over AS Lossie. Captain Tamatoa Tetawira netted twice, while Marama Vahirua and Jonathan Kakou each scored a goal.
That will help build a bit of confidence and self-belief. They can keep possession for an extended period. Now that's much better. Cross into the box, chance, goal! That's a wonderful goal. AS Dragon finally arrive, and it's Tamatoa Tetawira with the tribute to Marama Vahirua. They're not out of this match yet. There's still points to be competed for, but they're in big trouble here. Opportunity, and that could well seal it. Renard Lemaitre has double Dragons advantage. Danger still not clear. Oh, now a chance to make it safe for Dragon, and they have done it. And the second half has also been impressive. And here's a chance to make it 4 and wrap up the night for Dragon, and there it is. It's turned into a rout.
Local rugby league club, the Lami Steelers, will code hop this weekend. The side has decided to give it a go at the inaugural Ramsami Nasinu Sevens. Head coach William Tukana hopes being part of the tournament will also open up more doors for his young players. Luciana Tangedakimba reports.
Coming from a rugby league background and participating in rugby union, the Lami Steelers are focused on showcasing their talent in the Nasinu Sevens.
There's a lot of players from our community in Lami that lacks experience in rugby league. So we thought of having played rugby league and sevens, will give them an opportunity to showcase their talent.
Head coach William Tukana says they're ready to face experienced teams.
There's a lot of good talents around in Fiji. We will be going in as underdogs or unknown team to other senior 7 players.
Meanwhile, team captain Nondela Ivuna says they will treat each game as a final.
Preparing for our every single game we take, so we'll go one by one at a time.
32 teams have confirmed they will compete in the Nasinu Sevens. They include 2 international teams, China and Tuvalu. The games begin Friday and end Saturday at Nosoris, Ratu Thakumbau Park. Luciana Tangithakimbau, FBC Sports.
The Nasinu Rugby Union received a timely boost ahead of its inaugural Sevens tournament this weekend. BLK has provided $2,000 worth of merchandise for referees. A total of 36 men's and 12 women's teams will participate in the tournament beginning Friday. Local Sevens giants including Ratu Felice, Police, Tambandamu, First Light and Ului Nakau will be part of the competition. Nasinu Rugby Secretary Chone Tukana says with all the support they're receiving, fans and teams can expect an exciting two-day tournament.
The prize money for the cup winners are $5,000 for the men's. Total package in terms of the sponsorship offered to us by Ramsami is more than $35,000. So we have a hefty prize money on offer.
Elliot Dixon may be embarking on his last season of Super Rugby. The Fiji bowling team to the Commonwealth Games will be announced next week. Bowls Fiji believes it has enough talent in its pool of players to take on the world's best at the Games in April. Secretary Abdul Kalim says preparations so far have been good and national reps are eager for the opportunity to participate at the Games.
The team is training well and they're using every weekend to practice. Last weekend in Suva got washed out because of rain, but this weekend is in Nadi. And generally the players' form is picking up and we should see a good team.
Now to today's play of the day. With the NBA Slam Dunk Contest only a few days away, Victor Oladipo of the Indiana Pacers gave fans a hint of what to expect with a 360 dunk in the Pacers' 121-113 win over the New York Knicks yesterday. That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather and in new media. Facebook is testing downvote option after users plea for dislike button. Details after the break.
Bula, keron mai singatoka, keron do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo sekolah do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya ko sila tale, nagurara may naomani, nanronga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasibale, nagundurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomoy viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandomoy viti na bonga ni BNN.
Ever since Facebook introduced the like button, which first appeared 5 years after Facebook was created, people have been asking for a dislike button, and it now looks like we could get one. Maybe. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. The weather has been quite active today, quite cloudy and so breezy throughout. We're of course getting the side effects of tropical cyclone Gita well south of us and moving away from Fiji. Well, that's fantastic news, but do note it still remains a Category 4 cyclone and cyclones are unpredictable. Looking at the west for today, always quite rainy with more showers expected by later tonight. Eastwards from Peck Harbor to Suva, a mixture of sun, rain and strong breezes. It could be another night of showers. And up north, much the same, quite windy with moderate showers. At sea, rough to a very rough seas. As for the tides, high tide will be at 5:52 a.m. with low tide at 11:43 a.m. Sunrise will be at 5:59. For tomorrow, the Eastern Division is most likely to have showers with squally thunderstorms. Tomorrow's temps, the majority of the centers will be in the lower 30 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, much the same, showers are the in thing for now. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji Pulse tonight, we ask, is fake news becoming a major concern in Fiji?
Yes, it's a growing trend in Fiji. It's a major issue because sometimes leads people to make misinformed decisions.
I'm sure there's so many fake news going on, especially on social media, that I think the government should monitor.
Example, fake news on social media. Nowadays, people are so fond of social media, they tend to believe whatever is posted to be true.
We all know media is power, so if people continue to abuse the social websites and all, I think this country is already developing, so it will stop the country of moving forward.
Members of the public not to totally rely on those fake news, rather rely on reliable sources for information.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, it has been called a delivery drone, an unmanned aerial vehicle, or even a glider. It can be used to deliver essential supplies to areas traditional shipping and delivery companies cannot go. Recapping the main stories, TC Gita passes over the Lao group. Fijians told to cease sea travel. And cleanup and recovery begins in Tonga. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should those who make hate speeches be prosecuted? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day sent in by Alice McPherson, who says it's just another beautiful day in the hidden paradise. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Wrong on the radio Fiji 1 and the Moiviti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ang totalita na radio Fiji 1 kina domili.
Kaya kuyazo silitale. Nagurara may nawamanyi nandunga. Gitu tale tajiri ang gitu Venezuela pum nagunto rongo. Barrongo na radio Fiji 1 nandu Moiviti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandu Moiviti na bonga ni BNN.